All right. So I have to apologize because I'm kind of a, what do you want to call it? I'm an improv person. I just improvise as I go and I don't really write things down like I probably should for a YouTube channel. But yeah, I'm just kind of going with the flow on this one. Um, I didn't really do justice to my opening video last time about sitting here by the saddle and talking, because I'm going to be doing a lot of that on this channel. Right now, like I said before, I have one subscriber. I'm not looking for a subscriber. I'm not out asking friends, people to subscribe, because what I'm trying to do here is, like I said in my last video, trying to bring up some helpful information, um, some things that have helped me in the last 3 years. Come back from dead in Medellin, Colombia, to where I am now. And I think I mentioned before, my definition of it and getting back here to where I am, back in the saddle again, is transcending. And you can just look up the definition and you can take that however you want. But transcending to me, especially in the last couple of years, has been getting across dark times and dangerous obstacles. Like me right there on that glacier, crossing crevasses that are covered in snow, the hidden dangers. So anyway, my other channel is Tectonic Traveler with 2 L's, Traveler. And it focuses on bicycling and my trips touring in the last couple years. And I'm more of a adventure cyclist. I'm not a road cyclist. I'm not out racing anybody. I'm here on this thing here that saved my life a couple of times. Also almost killed me, but we won't talk about that yet. But all those things are self-induced. The bicycle has changed my life. It's saved my life in a lot of ways. So getting back to coming home from Colombia and what I'm going to do here in the next videos, in this series of videos, we're going to call it Transcending, just because we can. I've been writing this book, but really hardcore the last couple months, and I'm not going to put it out for a while. I'm not trying to sell the book, but what I thought would be helpful is taking some of the things in this and the chapters and kind of doing a series of videos on that, and how the bike and I have come a long way since being dead in Colombia. And the next video I make is going to be pretty long. I'll hit a lot of topics, but each chapter has a lot of talking. At some point I'll do a live, see if anyone's interested in that. How I got back, and really how I got the strength to get through what we're going through now, what people are going through. And even though I almost died and I went through my own self-destruction, I don't know. I have to be thankful in so many ways, because I don't know if I would feel the same way and be able to help others. So what I'll go through, throughout the series of videos, and I'll just kind of outline it right now, is tools used. When I say tools, you're going to get a lot of this from me about the bicycle, packing the bike, how I load up for a tour, and how I used to be a mountain guide and cross glaciers and climb mountains and all that kind of stuff. But I really won't get into those stories too much. Maybe that'll be another series of videos. How I got all my experience out in the mountains and other places in the world. But what I'm going to do in this series is the chapters that'll be in the book, Transcending, and how I got here, man. And I'm not exaggerating one bit. It's miracles. And I did the practice, I did the work. It's a miracle, number one, that I got back from Colombia alive. But again, those are different stories. The other miracles came after, when I started putting the work in, got back on the bike again. That old getting back in the saddle and back on the bicycle. It's classic. Well, anyway, it's a great analogy. Tools used, and I will say the tools that I used, I'm going to share them. They'll be different for everybody. Everybody's got lessons. I use the lessons as tools. So they're going to be different, but I'm going to share. I'm going to share how I use them. And my compass, my moral compass and my faith. We're not talking religion. We're talking faith, and we'll get into those in other chapters. The other one was going it alone. That'll be chapter 2. And that's another long chapter, going it alone, getting up the courage. When I say alone, I don't mean alone, leaving your friends and family. I don't mean leaving society. I mean taking your personal journey across. And let's explain across, because I just love showing this picture here. Across the glacier, my analogy, dangerous territory, right? Just like life. So you'll hear me refer to across, getting across. And we're not being spiritual. We're not channeling anything there. We're just talking about cold, hard reality of the tools needed to get across. When you cross a glacier, you need the right tools. You need to apply them at certain times. And the other thing is you need to be able to wait out storms and bad weather, just like life. So another chapter is storms and bad weather. Waiting it out, pulling life over, taking a rest. Because when I talk about high vibration a lot throughout this series and low vibration, I'm not talking about, again, jumping around like a clown, all happy. I'm talking about keeping yourself positive. So during storms and bad weather, there's a lot to do there. Self-reflection, rest, rehydration, and you can mean that in life, rehydration of the soul, and so on and so forth. Much to say in that chapter. Along the way, lots to learn. So, don't wait for others to change. It's another chapter you're really going to like. This is a lot of fun. When a book is fun writing, something happened and is happening. So overall, the departure. And what I mean by the departure is departing that old way of life that I was living, and that a lot of us have been living. Our old habits, things like that. Human derailment by other humans, that comes. And that's usually not the human themselves, 99.9% of the time. It's the energy that's being carried with them, through them. It's a derailment for you, an obstacle. So important. And another thing I'll say throughout the whole thing is recognizing. In my practice, I'm just recognizing all the time, anywhere I go. And I'm not obsessing about like, hey, well, that person's in a bad mood, I'm not going to be around them, man. It isn't, we're not talking about that. We have a choice of what to fully absorb as we're going. I'm not a spiritual teacher. And I just know these things. And don't ask me how, but I do. And a lot of you everybody else knows these things too. It's just fogged. These are just what I call your centeredness, your moral compass. External excess junk, long chapter. What I mean by that is the extra junk, or the extra low energy stuff that comes from not just the normal living, day-to-day stuff. You're going to be sick, you're going to have a sick relative, something's going to happen, there's going to be an emergency, there's going to be a low vibration, urgency, there's going to be stress. So these are things you just go through in your life, the ups and downs. There's going to be joy, and there's going to be sorrow. Those things are there. It's the excess stuff. You know, we get a lot of that from social media, mainstream media. Sorry, mainstream media, but not really. I'm not sorry at all, because you're kind of destroying people. False information, things like that. So, uh, you know, that lower vibration, we just kind of navigate through. Navigation, another thing I'll quote a lot about, navigating your way through all these obstacles. You know, it's funny because you know, it might sound like, oh my gosh, this guy's just, you know, anal, and he's, you know, watching every move everybody makes and he makes. It's not that way at all for me. Um, it's more of just choosing how I'm going to feel. And I know I'm going to feel bad at times. That's normal. But I'm not going to take any excess external junk from the news and the media and things like that. So those are just some of the tools, but I do go a lot into other things before the book starts. And also, I'll end it with, where do we go from here? You know, people will read this book or these writings or listen to this YouTube. The nice thing about it is I can do the YouTube and kind of supplement the book, because, you know, you can read a book and go, well, what am I going to get out of this book? You know, this guy, is he just writing because, you know, whatever. There's a lot of lonely people out there right now. You know, I really wasn't going to do anything like this. I've already been to where I believe a lot of people are right now. So I thought, well, here's something to offer. And without getting crazy and thick about it, with all sorts of my personal stories in here, I've taken all of that out, except for in the beginning saying, hey, I came from transcending, right? I came from there to here, and now I'm going from here to there. And where that is, I don't know. And that's the big mystery in life. That's the great thing. You know, the funny thing now with technology and technocrats, you're trying to take the mystery out of life. Want to know everything. And I'm afraid that's going to come back and bite somebody in the rear end. So vigilance, happiness in the heart, carrying a good smile. Where do we go from here? Well, you know, you're looking in the book and you're looking for answers, and, you know, what am I going to learn from this? You're going to learn from what you take from this and other things and transform it into your tools. My personal experiences, I'll only make brief in here, as a metaphor to each obstacle that came up. So, man, there's just so much to say, and, you know, that's a great thing. Also about YouTube, when I do some Q&A, I can explain some of these things deeper. I don't know if I'm answering. Well, I'm not. I'm sure answering a lot of questions. But where to go from here at the end of the book is a good one. What did I get from this book? And I think, well, hopefully you get what I got. I mean, I still get from this book all the lessons, all the tools. I mean, it's like for me, it's a handbook. And that's another reason I'll keep it short, the book, because I don't want it to be something that's heavy and big. I want it to be something you can carry around with you, maybe. And those are the best books, you know, things you can refer to and refer back to. You know, because a lot of this stuff is already embedded, you know, in a person. Not everybody, but a lot of people. So you can kind of take it, look at it, and it's just a reminder of you know, where you can go, where you've been. So we'll go to the next video, and I think we'll start off with that one with the tools, the navigational tools along the way. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.